You learn two things in detective school. First, always keep your files neat and orderly. And second, a case that involves a missing blonde will inevitably drive you to drink. Still, something about this case intrigued me. Besides, I was between clients at the time, and certain bill collectors were starting to get ugly. The papers said she was last seen in DERHATCHETT Hollow, walking her chihuahua through a nearby graveyard. Not much to go on, but I had to start somewhere.
Ed, there's a gentleman out here to see you. It looks like he wants money. Do you want me to show him in, or do you want to go out the window again?
He wanted money, all right,
Thank you, Mr.
but it was
Spectre.
for a good cause.
All proceeds go to the orphanage and are, of course, tax deductible. I don't mean to pry, but your secretary mentioned that you might be driving out to DERHATCHETT Hollow tonight. It's a very evil place. I want you to have this. It may save your life. It's a vial of holy water. $12. Tax deductible?
The DERHATCHETT Institute was founded by a Nobel Prize-winning scientist who disappeared in the late 50s, leaving the place deserted for nearly 30 years. I walked up the creaking front steps and turned the knob. Locked. Naturally, there was a key that fit the front door under the mat. The stench was awful. It was like entering a tomb. There were rotting stairs to my right and a room to my left, and I felt a cold chill on the back of my neck. As I ascended the rotting staircase, I began to feel as if I were being followed. From the top of the stairs, I could see a woman below. Her skin erupted as the water splashed onto her. The stench was awful. The second floor looked dark and uninviting. My fear faded as I fled. I felt fine till I fell. So I flipped over and found I'd been followed by a fanged femme fatale with a fried finger. I hated to be rude, but sometimes you got no choice. As I stood up, a strange mist started to come in from under the door. The only other door led to a closet. I hesitated before entering the closet. Was I a man or a mouse? I decided to give it serious consideration from inside the closet. In the darkness, I became aware of something gnawing on my ankle, so I switched on the lights. Rats! I turned on the light and discovered a stairway. stairs led to an attic. A trail of green ooze leading off to my left. And in the other direction, piles of old junk near an open window. The slime led to a glowing crystal sphere next to a rotting, slime-covered pirate chest. As I gazed into the sphere, I saw a piece of garlic, followed by a mouth only an orthodontist could love. I opened the stinking, rotted pirate chest and discovered, naturally, a stinking, rotted pirate. Knife in one hand, small wooden box in the other. I reached for it, but I wasn't quick enough. While I struggled to keep the pirate down, I was also struggling to keep my lunch down, and not doing well in either department. The moment I touched the box, the pirate started to laugh. Then he shook his head and disappeared. I slammed the lid down. Despite the open window, the attic smelled musty. The smell seemed to be coming from a large wooden crate. Then I saw it, and vice versa. Whatever it was flew at my head and knocked me to the ground. It looked angry. I pushed it away and looked for a weapon. I grabbed the rope and a trap door opened. I fell for what seemed to be a long, long time and hit the ground hard. Fortunately, I broke my fall on something soft.
Well, what do you think you're doing? Mother doesn't like anybody playing in her laundry. Do you, Mom? That's right, stay out of my laundry. Why don't you run up those stairs where the butler's been nice enough to hold the elevator for you? I'm just a frail old lady who's... That's right, you heard her.
This guy was obviously a psycho. On the steps above me, a green ghoul gestured gracefully. I approached the zombie reluctantly and asked him who his tailor was. His response was to push me backwards into a rickety old freight elevator.
What floor, please? First floor, everybody out. Watch the door.
We arrived on the first floor and I got off. I could hear faint piano music coming from somewhere. At the top of the stairs, I saw an ugly dwarf.
This is the master's private property. It's my job to see that it remains private.
Private Eye versus Private Igor, eh? When he moved, I jumped over the railing. It was a long way to the first floor, and Laughing Boy was no help at all. I grabbed his shirt and he flipped over the railing. The second floor looked dark and uninviting. The room I next entered was obviously a library of some sort. There was a door to my left, another dead ahead, but most of the action was taking place in the kitchen on my right, where someone was practicing a bizarre form of culinary preparation. I couldn't put my finger on it, but there was something odd about the woman in the kitchen.
If you're hungry, get it yourself! There ain't no room service in this hotel!
I think maybe it was her 3-day beard. Inside the cupboard was a rose, a clove of garlic, and a couple of potatoes. I reached in and took the clove of garlic.
Run along now, you're spoiling your appetite!
I tiptoed out of the kitchen and left her to her work. A faint breeze carried a musty odor to my sensitive nostrils. This room seemed to be a lavatory. There was something odd about it, and then I realized what it was. The room smelled like wet dog. Suddenly I realized that someone was coming up behind me. Thinking quickly, I stepped into the shower and pulled the curtain closed. A hairy paw reached in and turned on the water. I peered around the corner and saw a she-wolf busily primping herself for a night on the town. I whistled. She turned and giggled like a schoolgirl. Then she started towards me. She leaned forward and planted a wet, sloppy kiss on my lips, then stepped aside to let me pass. I stopped for a moment near the doorway to pick up a playing card for good luck. I rounded the corner and very nearly bumped into a female vampire. She was just starting to leave when I gave myself away. I hid, made a noise like a rat, and when I re-entered the room, it was empty. There was a closet in the corner with doors on either side of it. I opened the double doors and ducked as a broken-down bed bounced into the room. She rose from the bed like smoke from the burning book. I yanked the sheet from under her feet. She cracked her head as she fell off the bed. Eat your heart out, Mother Goose. I opened the closet door and hurried in. A moment later, I was in another hallway. I was reaching for the door handle when suddenly...
The one you seek is in that room, but she won't be living with you. Do you want to know why? Because of the inherent power of the vampire over the inferior human will.
Then she smiled, revealing teeth that would look more at home on a wolverine. When she grabbed me, I grabbed my hat. As soon as I entered the room, I saw the girl on the bed. I had to move fast. The hat trick wouldn't buy me much time.
I was told, and there's a woman so cold that a snow-beaten heart cannot break. To love you tonight while the full moon is bright. Professor, you best bring a stick.
I hid behind the curtain and watched in horror as the room filled with female vampires. When they looked my way, my reaction was instantaneous. I pulled the curtain down and used it to diffuse their bloodlust. I grabbed my hat and got out the way I got in. In my haste to escape, I managed to trip over the bed. They burst into the room. I remained where I was till the last possible second, then jumped up, grabbed the bed, and flung it into the wall. The fire from the book had spread to the walls. I backed out of the room. I called the elevator and got right in when it arrived. I stumbled into some kind of witch's coven.
Best not stick around, cutie. Morbia's not playing with a full deck tonight.
I pulled the card out of my pocket. The witches seemed pleased.
Thanks to you, Morbia is now playing with a full deck. We are in your debt, but do not try our patience.
I will tell of the unbridled wickedness of Count Vladimir Yorchikansky.
If I tell your fortune, the debt will be paid.
The Count is the true master of this house. To oppose him is to gamble with your life. Pick a card.
I picked a card. She didn't seem happy.
Luck is on your side, mortal. This much I will tell. The Count has his reasons for hating the seasons. Now go!
There was some kind of laboratory just ahead. I had no idea which way to turn. I thought I heard someone coming. I tried to hide.
No sense trying to hide, Mr. Spectre. I am Baron OTTO DERHATCHETT, and your name is Mud. We have ways of dealing with trespassers here.
What could I do? He had a gun.
All right, quickly now. What is the capital of Minneapolis?
An unusual question.
Very good. I could use a brain like yours in my latest experiments. Have a seat, Mr. Spectre.
I had little choice. He was carrying a gun.
I said, sit down.
The chair looked comfy, so I sat down. The chair strapped me in automatically.
In just a few minutes, your brain will be occupying that massive body. Does the concept appeal to you?
Was he kidding or what?
No matter. Let the experiment begin!
It's hard to describe what happened next. Imagine a half-ton of moldy pizza coming to life before your very eyes. If I lived through this, I was going to need a new suit. The angry monster ripped me from my bonds and yanked me from my chair. While the monster giggled, the lab continued to fill with smoke. I looked around for a means of escape. A sledgehammer sat on a ledge below a gas mask in the corner. I couldn't budge it, but Larry Lugnut hoisted the huge hammer without popping a stitch. The machine looked ready to explode. I hadn't a moment to lose. I clambered out the open window as fast as I could. The ladder beside the window led to the roof. I stepped onto the roof and looked back. I had been followed. The creature advanced and I retreated, with dignity, till I felt his icy hand on my ankle. I gave him a taste of my shoe leather. Then I ran up the rooftop till I saw what lay ahead of me. I was definitely in trouble. I ran and jumped and grabbed the gutter to prevent a 3-story drop. There was a window in front of me just beyond my reach. Treated with dignity. I tumbled through the window and fell hard. Someone or something was sitting across the attic from me.
At long last, the detective decides to pay a visit to his host. Have you enjoyed our hospitality so far?
It was difficult not to listen. His voice had a strong hypnotic effect.
You don't know me, but I know you. Each time you lapse in consciousness, I get to know you a little better. Come, sit. Drink with me. It's something I picked out close to your heart.
That was my blood he was sucking on. Quickly, I checked my pockets.
What's that in your hand? Give it to me.
I crushed him. When I kicked the table, the candle was knocked over.
Egad, my fingers on fire, and so is my house from the looks of things.
Count Yorchakunsky was history, and I'd be in the same boat if I didn't haul ashes in a hurry. I pried the window open and jumped through. I think I sprained my ankle in the fall. I was running through the woods when I spotted my secretary up ahead. Would she be glad to see me? She was crazy about me, poor kid.
Sorry, Ed, but you've got to learn not to sneak up on people like that. Where have you been? I've been looking all over for you to let you know you can stop looking for that rich kid. Seems she wasn't missing after all. Her parents just never thought to look in her bedroom. Are you okay, Ed? You don't look so good.
There were some unusual aspects to this case, and I had a couple of close shaves along the way. But in the end, it was just another day in the life of Ed Spectre, Private Eye. Case closed.